Hi there, Bill Hitchcock. Hopefully things are going real well for you. It's been a fantastic holiday season, not only because of Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's, but because of fishing. We got a lot of stuff to talk about in regards to fishing along the coast of North Carolina during the winter. Can you tell I'm excited? Actually, there's three things I want to talk about today. One, have you ever gone walking down the beach and seen this little like black thing that's got little sticks or stems coming out of it? Some people call it a mermaid's purse. Some people call it devil's pocketbook. Well, we're going to talk about those. We're going to show you actually what they are. There's an egg case, and we're going to show the birth. Little skate coming out of the skate's egg case. It's pretty cool. Also, we're going to be talking about a whale. Whale just washed up on the beach in Nag's Head just a few days ago. It's not necessarily an odd thing, but we got a lot of footage to get out to you with that. And we're also going to be talking about, I'll call it the beaches are moving. A lot of people like to say, it's sea level rise or it's beach erosion. Well, we're going to show you, in some cases, the pictorial history of some places along the coast of North Carolina where over time it didn't erode, it accreted. We got more. How about that? And we'll also show you that it's a matter of time. It's like a time signature. It's going back and forth, that sands on, sands off, sands off. God, that just reminded me of a commercial from the 70s. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that we want to cover today. Let's start off with the skate's egg case. Look at this. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Everybody's been walking up and down the beach and at one point in time has seen one of these skate's eggs cases. The next thing you see is a whole bunch of them. And what it is, as the name implies, some people call it the devil's pocketbook. Some people call it the mermaid's purse. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other names for it. But what it is a skate, that little ray dealy-bop, egg case. They're inside of that and they hatch and come on out. Take a look at this video of a skate being born coming out of a skate's egg case. It's amazing.
Skates are in the shark family, but share a flat-like appearance similar to stingrays. These leathery pouches serve as an egg sac, and are typically attached to a plant or other stationary object in the water. Most often, these egg sacs wash ashore after the skate has hatched.
So there you have it, that little black pouch that you find on the beach is the skate's egg case. Isn't that amazing? By the way, when you're looking in the video, before that skate came out, did you see it was like a little motion in both of those cases? It's its tail is getting ready to come on out. Absolutely fascinating. Now, a whale washed up on the beach in Kitty Hawk. That's right, it's at the Bennett Street Beach Access where a humpback whale washed up on the beach. We're going to show you exactly where that location is. You can see it's just near the Memorial Bridge up there in the Kitty Hawk area in the Outer Banks. This whale washed up on the beach. It's not uncommon, by the way, for whales because they're migrating right now. It's not uncommon to see them. It's not uncommon for them to wash up on the beach. But let's go to Wavy 10, TV 10 out of Virginia. Take a listen real briefly to their news report with the footage of this humpback whale on the beach.
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration told 10 on Your Side the whale will get a necropsy tomorrow, which is an autopsy performed on animals. Now, instead, people admiring the whale from a distance in the water, they have an up-close view that some have never seen before.
Just flat out sad, you know, because a couple of weeks ago there were some whales going by close enough to shore that people could see them. And the beach was lined with people watching.
Earlier in the month, the Virginia pilot reported a whale was spotted near the Outer Banks, entangled in fishing gear off the East Coast. NOAA confirmed to 10 on Your Side it is not the same whale that washed up on the shore.
This actually puts in perspective like how much we actually have to think about how humans impact the environment. Even if it didn't die because of us, it still helps you think about it.
Covered in sand and barnacles, the whale has bite marks. NOAA tells us it's from shark scavenging.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to have a bite mark out of it, and I was expecting it to be a lot bigger, honestly.
For most people who headed to the beach today to witness the find, they say it's something they won't soon forget.
Not my first time, but definitely when it's this big, you know, it's kind of a massive deal.
Officials on Bennett Street Beach Access, where the whale was found, were taking notes. A perimeter now surrounds the whale to protect it from the public.
It was a bit weird at first. I had, of course, smelled it, and then I went around. I definitely didn't expect how big it was. I thought it was going to be a bit smaller.
Couple of things that, particularly some of the comments that were being said, there was evidently a whale that had been entangled with fishing gear, as they called it. They didn't really clarify that. That was off of Virginia, I believe, but that is not the whale. There are bite marks all over it, which, as we know, is quite common. Sharks or any fish. Any fish is going to take an opportunity of a whole bunch of meat sitting in front of them. They'll nibble on it. And it's a juvenile humpback. It was interesting to hear people, I didn't realize it was going to be so big. Well, it's a juvenile. The things get much bigger than what has washed up. It is being taken care of. Oh, do I have that in front of me? I sure hope I have that in front of me. Oceana scientists, pardon me, I got my glasses here. Nora Ives has confirmed the Coastal Review that the marine mammal is a humpback whale. The whale was found near the Bennett Street beach access. WAVT TV 10 out of Portsmouth, Virginia reports the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA officials, said the female is about 27 feet long, has signs of shark scavenging, and this is obvious when, you know, like I just said, anything in the ocean, oh look, a free meal, a bunch of meat, and they're going to nibble on it. So, but there were some obvious big teeth marks. I do remember, oh lordy me, this was in the 80s in Coral Banks, Portsmouth Island, and went out, there was a dead whale, right whale on the beach, huge thing. And I tell you what, you want to be upwind from it once it starts rotting a little bit. It's, they real stinky, they real stinky. So they're going to be taking it. In my understanding, as of we're doing this the show, that they are planning on burying that whale. So we'll see what happens. There's some very funny footage. I think it's from California from the 70s, where they had the brilliant idea of blowing it up, and it rained whale parts and meat and fat and blubber within like a half-mile radius of the thing.
All right, Fred, you can take your hands out of your ears. Here comes pieces of mine.
No, let's not do that. Anyway, all right, let's go on to the beaches are moving. What you're looking at right now is a picture of the west end of Shackelford Banks. Right there at Beaufort Inlet. On the other side of Beaufort Inlet is where Fort Macon is on Bogue Banks. So that's Beaufort Inlet. That's the Shackelford Banks sticking into Beaufort Inlet. Now look at these lines. Let's go back to that picture. Let's take a look at these lines. If you see that inner line that is red and white, that line is from 1946. That used to be the end of Shackelford Banks. Now go all the way out. Do you see that orangey line? That is from 1998. And you see how big Shackelford Banks on the west end grew. So you go from the 1946, it grew until 1998 to that point. So Shackelford Banks didn't erode over that 40, 50 year time period. It accreted, it grew. But let's take a look from 1998 to 2016. You see, you look at those lines, the yellow, the green, the blue. Shackelford Banks is shrinking, 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 shrinking. And it looks like it is headed towards where it was now 60, 70 years ago. So this is a natural process, by the way, of the beaches are moving. We keep hearing about sea level rise. We keep hearing about beach erosion, but the beaches are moving. Just keep this in mind, if anything. Orrin Pelkey, Dr. Orrin Pelkey, recently passed away. He wrote a marvelous book. It came out in like 1980 called The Beaches Are Moving. And he was trying to explain to people, say, look, you know, they're constantly shifting. And his primary focus, as I recall, was that about groins and jetties, that when you stick a groin or jetty out, you got a motion of sand and water, and it's stopping it on one side, so it's going to build up, and on the other side is prohibiting the natural flow of sand for nourishment, and so it's going to erode. And he's exactly right. And here's an example of a normal process beach accretion and erosion. And this goes on actually everywhere. And this is the real thing that tickles me. There's really only four things when it comes to the beach. You got sand, you got water, you've got wind, and you got ocean currents. That's all a beach is. Water, sand, wind, and current. Name me one of those things that is ever stable. None. They're constantly in flux. They're constantly moving. They're constantly churning. And this is just on a quote-unquote normal basis. This is not including the effects of storms. And as we know, along the coast of North Carolina, we are not necessarily impacted, but we are affected by storms, particularly affected by hurricanes more so than any other place. Now, when I say affected, I'm not saying we're impacted. There's a big difference. So you got a bunch of sand out there, you got a bunch of water out there, you got a bunch of current out there, you got a bunch of wind out there. Ain't nothing stable. It's all going to move. And I don't care how much sand you pump onto a beach, it's going to move. So anyway, now I want to show you this. Let me see, pardon me while I get my glasses on and play old man and try to see what the heck I'm doing over here on my little old magic keyboard. I want to show you this next picture. Look at this. This is up, it's only identified as in between Buxton and Avon on Hatteras Island. It's the north end of Hatteras Island. If you look, it's probably backwards like that. It's on the north end up here. Take a look at this. They're showing, see that yellow line way out off the beach? It's more than a quarter of a mile. In 1852, that was the shoreline. Now let's go all the way to the latest date of 2003. You see this on the backside of the Sandy area of where Highway 12 is. You can see 1955, 1974, 1999, where the highway was, and there's a slow migration of the road going towards the sound side. Now this is the point I want to make up. In this article, they're talking about sea level rise. And that's why we go from that 1852 shoreline that's now more than a quarter mile off the beach to where it is now. And they call that due to sea level rise. And you can contradict me, send me information, we'll get my email address out to you. But if that's the case, how come it doesn't, if it's sea level rise, why isn't the backside deteriorating? Don't you think that, it rises up, then we'd have the same problem on the backside that in 1852, where the shoreline is more than a quarter mile off the beach where it is now, wouldn't it be the same thing on the sound? So wouldn't we have like a mile wide stretch of a beach there? We're going to do detailed stories on this. We're going to really dive into this in this coming year. If you have any comment, please email me, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com. And of course, you're more than likely watching this on YouTube. Post your comments there on YouTube. And by the way, I want to leave you with this. I forgot to make mention, this is probably what everybody's going to get excited about. Fishing. Plenty of fishing going on. Again, let me play old man, look over here at my laptop, blank that on out. I want to play a little bit of video for you as I talk about this. This comes from Atlantic Beach. Now, where's my little thingy there? Comes from Atlantic Beach at the fishing tournament that is going on, or had been going on, at Chasing Tails Bait and Tackle in Atlantic Beach. They've been holding, evidently for a number of years, a speckled trout tournament during the Christmas time, going into the first of the year, where you bring in your fish alive and they weigh it and then they release the fish alive. So Chasing Tails at Atlantic Beach, bravo to you guys. Bravo to you guys. I want to roll show you some pictures from their Facebook page. Please go to it. But listen to this as I roll some of the stuff. First place was Dennis Cochran. 8.63 pounds trout released. Chris McSorley, 8.51. Chris Johnson, 7.51. Josh Helms, 7.49. Daniel Ball, 7.43. Sixth place, Kevin Davis, 7.15. Seventh place, Larry Lord at 7 pounds. These are all caught and released. These are huge fish. And by the way, I'm going off the top of my head here, looking at data from the Division of Marine Fisheries over the past 20 years. The vast majority, oh lordy me, I'm going to hate myself, but it's at least 75% of the speckled trout caught in the recreational sector are released. That's over a 20-year period. It's probably higher than that, and I wish I'd thought about this in advance. It's probably higher than that, but kudos to the recreational fishing community for the catch and release of the speckled trout. Kudos to Chasing Tails in Atlantic Beach for their tournament, which you can bring your fish in, your speckled trout in alive, and maybe there's other fish, I don't know. And then we're gonna release it here because they're on the water. When you cross the Atlantic Beach high-rise bridge from Morehead City to Atlantic Beach, it's gonna be almost immediately on your right. The first thing is Miller Music, which is, I made a comment, they've been there since 1492. They've been there a long time. So stop on by Chasing Tail Outdoors Bait and Tackle, go to their Facebook page, look at all these pictures, find out what they're doing. They're also reporting about bluefin tuna. The bluefin tuna are still, God almighty, 700, 800, 900 pound bluefin tuna being caught. I have never heard of so many so big here. And I will leave you with this. The problems with saltwater fishing along the coast of North Carolina in the winter time is we just don't get the reports because a lot of places close up. People are on holiday, they're going around the country and the world visiting family and friends, so they're not out fishing. And the weather can be real iffy. You may recall the last show we talked about the 1.5 feet of snow Carteret County got on December 23rd, 30 years ago in 1989, because that's 35 years ago. So those are prohibitive factors. Just because we're not getting reports of fish being caught doesn't mean fish aren't there. Trust me, bluefin tuna and speckled trout and drum, they are there. Enough of me. Email me, post at the YouTube channel. Also, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel so you can get a whole lot more. I'm Bill Hitchcock. Until next time, see ya.